Hello, second grade Smarties, and welcome to iReady Lesson 8, Video 1. So last week we talked about adding two-digit numbers, and we talked about regrouping when we had too many ones in the ones place and carrying that 10 over to the tens place. This week, we are going to be talking about subtracting with two-digit numbers. So what we're going to start with is looking at models to show how we can subtract two-digit numbers. So let's go ahead and get started on page 70. So make sure you are open to page 70 in your instruction book. All right, it says you know how to count tens and ones. There are 34 art projects in a contest. There are 9 paintings. The rest are drawings. How many art projects are drawings? So we already know this week that we are going to be subtracting, but let's go back and read that word problem again and see what it's wanting us to find out. It says there are 34 art projects in a contest. So 34, that's an important number. I'm going to circle it. There are 9 paintings. The rest are drawings. How many art projects are drawings? Whoa, that was a crooked line. All right, so looking at the numbers that we have in our word problem, we have 34 and 9. So I want you to think, with 34 and 9, are we adding 34 and 9, or are we going to be taking away? And which one are we going to take away from? Are we going to take away from 34 or 9? What do you think? We're going to take away from 34, right? Because 34 is our whole. There were 34 art projects all together. 9 of those art projects were paintings. The rest were drawings. So it's not that we're destroying 9 paintings or 9 paintings disappeared, but we are comparing to find how many are paintings and how many are drawings. So let's go ahead and go to letter A. It wants us to think about our whole. It says how many tens and ones are in 34. So looking at our tens and ones, how many tens do we have? We have 3 tens, so we can count by tens, 10, 20, 30, so 3 tens. And how many ones? And 4 ones. It says solve 34 minus 9 to find the number of drawings. Oh, excuse me. How many ones do you need to subtract? So looking at the part that we are taking away, how many are we taking away? We're taking away 9. So 9 ones. We are taking away 9 ones. Looking at our model over here with our tens and ones, are there enough in the ones place to subtract? So look at the ones that we have. Do we have enough ones right now to take away 9? No. How many ones do we have right now? If I were to take away 9, I don't have enough ones, right? So for me to explain this, I would say there is only 4 ones in the model. And there's only 4 ones in 34. It says, look at the model at the right. So right here. How many 10 blocks are there? So our 10 blocks are those 10 rods. So that's when we have our 10 ones squished together to make a group of 10. So in our model right here, how many 10s do you see? We see 2 10s. And what did they do to this third 10? Because in 34, we have 3 10s. What did they do to that 10? They turned it into 10 ones, right? Why do you think they would turn that 10 into ones? Think about it. So it says, how many 1 blocks are there? So we had 4 And they busted up that 10 into 10 ones. So 10 and 4. How many ones is that? 14. Now take away 9 ones. How many 10s and 1s are left? So friends, this is where we figure out why we have to bust up a 10 into 1s. Because I didn't have enough in the 1s place to take away 9. So if I were to make an equation for 34 minus 9, I cannot take 9 away from 4. Remember, when I subtract, I start with my whole. In the ones place, I do not have enough to take away. So what I had to do is I had to bust up a 10 from my tens place to make some ones. So in 34, I busted up a 10. So now I don't have three tens. I only have two tens. And I busted it up to make 14 ones. Now I have enough in the ones place. Now, friends, when we add, we always start with our ones place. When we subtract, we always start with our ones place. So what we did is we busted up a 10 from 30, and we took that 10 over to our ones so we could subtract 9. So now I'm going to take 9 away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to circle what is left. How many ones do I have left? I have 5 ones. If I subtracted 14 minus 9, I would have 5 left. And now I go over to my tens place. If I have 2 tens and I subtract 0, how many tens am I still going to have? I'm still going to have 2 tens. So how many tens did we have left? We had 2 tens. And how many ones? 5. Now, how many art projects were drawings? We had 25 drawings. All right. There are 2 ways to find 34 minus 9. So just like when we were talking about mental math strategies, we can add to subtract. So what that means is if I have 34 minus 9, what I can do is I can start with 9 and add to 34 to find that missing part, to find the part that I would add with 9 to make 34. But we don't have enough fingers to pound and count, right? So we can use an open number line. It says to start at 9 and add up to 34. So look at what it wants us to do. It wants us to start at 9. Remember, in 34 minus 9, that's the part we're taking away. So remember those fact families. We already know that 34 is our whole, and we know that 9 is a part. And we had that missing part, right? We found that missing part already, but it wants us to think of our fact families that we can use to find that missing part. So if we already know how to add, we know how to subtract too because of those fact families. So looking at our open number line, it says to go to the next 10. 9 plus missing part equals 10. So on the open number line, it went to the next group of 10. How many did we add to get to that next group of 10? We added 1 more. Okay, so then we had 1 group of 10. We're going to add 2 groups of 10 to get to 30. So what would I add to 10 to make 30? Look at our open number line. I added 20. So I counted by tens, right? So 10, 20, 30. So 2 tens to get to 30. And then we knew that our whole was going to be 34. So at 30, how many ones would I need to make 34? I would need 4 ones. And then it asks for the total number of jumps. So here is that part. We have to add the jumps to find that missing part. So 20 plus 1 is 21, plus 4 more would be, what would that be, friends? It would be 25. So 9 plus, what was our part? 25 equals 34. And because those parts in whole are part of a fact family now, we know that 34 minus 9 also equals 25. Now we can also subtract by starting at our whole and going back. So 34 has 4 ones. So we can take away 4 ones to get to 30. Then we can start at 30 and count back 5 more because, friends, the part that we knew we were taking away was 9. So what they did was they got down to a group of 10. See, we started with 34 and then we took away 4 and got to 30. But I'm not finished because 9 was the part that I'm taking away altogether. So then I had to go back 5 more. So 30 minus 5 equals 25. So 34 minus 9 equals 25. So friends, I know that I've said this a lot, but these strategies might work for you and they might not. For Miss Mason, to remember all these steps is kind of tricky. So I like to show my 10 rods and my ones cubes, right? I like to show that, or I like to think about my tens and how I can take away tens to find what's left over. So let's do one more. It says, how can you subtract 8 from 46? Explain one way. So here's what I'm going to do. How can you subtract 8 from 46? I am going to make an equation first because I want to see what I am working with. So I'm going to make 46 because that is my whole, and I am taking away 8. I always start in my ones place. Now, my whole always goes on top, right? My whole is first, and the part I'm taking away comes next. Can I subtract 8? Can I take 8 away from 6? No. So here is what I'm going to do. I am going to draw 46 down here. Remember, this is the strategy that works best for Miss Mason. Maybe drawing an open number line works best for you. So while we're doing this together, use the strategy that works best for you. So I'm going to draw 46. And 46, how many tens do I have? I have 4 tens, so 10, 20, 30, 40, and 6 ones. So I'm going to draw 6 ones. So 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Now looking at my whole, I do not have enough ones to take away 8. So what can I do so that I have enough ones to take away 8? I can't do anything with my ones. So I need to go to my tens place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a 10 and I'm going to bust it up. It's still going to be 46. I'm just going to bust up a group of 10 into 10 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And notice that I didn't make 5 and 5 because I still want you to know that this is 10, that this was a group of 10 that we busted up so we can take 8 away from our ones place. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 8 away starting in my ones place. So I'm going to start with the ones that I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to circle what is left. So now I'm going to show you what this would look like on an equation. So we saw how it would work out with our tens and ones. So friends, when you see an equation like this, I want you to think about why you are doing what you are doing. I cannot take 8 away from 6. So what I had to do is I had to go and talk to my friend in the tens place. We had 4 tens. So one of our tens place was nice enough to give us a 10 and had 3 left over in the tens place. That 10 added to our 6 ones, so we would have enough to take away to to take away 8. So now I had 16 ones minus 8 ones. How many did we have left? We had 8 ones left. And how many 10s left? We had 3 10s. So we borrowed a 10 so we could take away those 8 ones. So what was the part left over? 38 was the part left over. All right, Smarties. As always, math is a subject where we have to do that hard learning, right? We have that productive struggle. That's when we have to do different strategies to solve a problem. Some strategies are great, and that's what iReady shows us. It shows us those strategies that we can use to do some deeper thinking about what those parts and those wholes mean. All right, Smarties, as always, keep that growth mindset. Good learners do hard things, and I will see you tomorrow with another lesson. Bye, guys.